press before Trump heads back to America. They covered ending the war in the Middle East as well as in Ukraine and the impact cheap oil prices would have on Russia's desire to keep fighting. NTD's international correspondent Malcolm Hudson brings us the story.
President Trump said the United States and the United Kingdom have done more good for this world than any other two nations in human history. Speaking before the press during his state visit, he said it's thanks to the traditions of British liberty that grew here and were transported to the New World centuries ago.
But I hope that together our nations can lead a movement to defend the glorious traditions of freedom on both sides of the Atlantic.
The Israel-Hamas war was top of the questions. Starmer has previously said he's willing to recognize a Palestinian state under certain conditions, something Trump has described as rewarding the Hamas terror group. His top priority is getting all the hostages released now.
You know, Hamas said that they're going to put the hostages up as bait. They're going to put the hostages in front of any attack. And that's pretty brutal. We haven't heard that one in a long time. So we have to remember that. So I have a disagreement with the Prime Minister on that score. Okay? One of our few disagreements, actually.
Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organisation who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. And what happened on October the 7th was the worst attack since the Holocaust.
When all hostages are released, Trump suggested he could persuade Israel to end the war in Gaza. Turning to the war in Ukraine, Starmer said it's important to ramp up pressure on Putin given the recent attacks deep into Ukraine and the incursion into Poland.
So we have to ramp up, and we discussed earlier today, we have built the coalition of the willing with British leadership and French leadership, stepping up with military planning in the seas, in the sky, on the ground, and ramping up what we do with the Ukrainians themselves.
Trump said he thought he could strike a deal quickly with Putin, but that Putin let him down.
Well, he has let me down. I mean, he's killing many people, and he's losing more people than he's killing. I mean, frankly, the Russian soldiers are being killed at a higher rate than the Ukrainian soldiers.
He lamented that millions of souls have died in the war. Trump has demanded that European nations stop buying Russian oil before he puts more sanctions on Russia.
But I'm willing to do other things, but not when the people that I'm fighting for are buying oil from Russia. If the oil price comes down, very simply, Russia will settle. And the oil price is way down. You know, we got it way down. We're drilling and we produce more oil than anybody else in the world.
And he encouraged Starmer to drill for oil in the North Sea to help bring energy prices down. Starmer said oil and gas will remain a part of the UK's energy picture for years, though he said renewable energy like wind will be part of the mix. Malcolm Hudson, NTD News, London.
After a day of royal pomp and pageantry, President Trump and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer signed a new tech deal between the countries. Here's President Trump.
The ties between our countries are priceless, and it's really an inheritance. It's a beautiful inheritance. Today we're making those ties closer than ever before. We've done some things that financially are great for both countries, and we work together, and it keeps us together, and I think it's an unbreakable bond we have, regardless of what we're doing today. I think it's unbreakable. In May, the United Kingdom became the first country to make a trade deal with the United States during my second term, and we sort of wanted to make it the first because the bond is so strong and the relationship so long.
Before signing the deal, Trump hailed it as a historic agreement on science and technology. UK officials say the deal will bring thousands of jobs and billions in investment in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and nuclear energy to Britain. The UK and US companies said they had pledged over $204 billion in investment in the country. That includes over $120 billion from investment from Blackstone in the next decade. Investment will also flow the other way, including almost $30 billion by pharmaceutical firm GSK into the U.S. Before bidding farewell to the Trumps, Queen Camilla hosted First Lady Melania Trump. During the visit yesterday, the First Lady and Queen took a private tour of Windsor Castle's Royal Library. They looked at an exhibit of miniature books meaningful to both countries. Included in the collection Sherlock Holmes, and a copy of A.A. Milne's Vespers, which is the first literary appearance of Christopher Robin. Melania Trump and Queen Camilla also visited with a group of local school children who are working on their own set of miniature books. Meanwhile, today, the First Lady and Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, visited Frogmore Gardens, an estate just south of Windsor Castle. They were joined by young children in the Squirrel Scouts program. President Trump says he will designate Antifa as a major terrorist organization. He made the announcement during his state visit to the United Kingdom.